The deception of diplomacy. The Galactic Confederation welcomed Earth with what could only be described as patronizing amusement. After all, what threat could these soft-skinned, oxygen-dependent creatures pose to civilizations that had mastered interstellar travel millennia ago? Humans arrived with music, art, and open hands, not plasma cannons or gravity disruptors. Their ships were laughably primitive, their defensive systems barely capable of deflecting micrometeors. By all accounts, they were a curiosity at best, a potential resource at worst. Ambassador Elena Chen stood before the Confederation Council, her slight frame dwarfed by the massive chamber designed to accommodate species 3 times her size. Behind her, the Earth delegation maintained perfect posture, their faces expressionless. The scary representative, General Vextor, a 9-foot-tall reptilian with scales that shifted colors with his mood, leaned forward in his seat. The human request for mining rights in the Proxima system is denied, he announced, scales flashing smug purple. Those resources are better utilized by civilizations with the technological capacity to harvest them efficiently. Elena didn't argue. She didn't protest. She simply nodded, made a small notation in her digital pad, and smiled politely. "The Confederation appreciates your consideration," she said, voice steady. "Earth respects the Council's decision." The Kelamori ambassador, a being composed primarily of crystalline nodes and psionic energy, emitted what could only be described as a chuckle. How refreshing to encounter a species that knows its place in the galactic hierarchy. As Elena and her team exited the chamber, Admiral Xavier Rice, Earth's military attaché, fell into step beside her. His face remained impassive, but his eyes, hard and calculating, tracked every guard, every camera, every potential listening device. "That's the 4th resource request they've denied this cycle," he murmured. Elena's smile never faltered. "And we'll submit a 5th next cycle. Patience, Admiral." Back on the diplomatic vessel Olive Branch, Elena's demeanor changed instantly. The warm smile vanished, replaced by cold efficiency as she addressed her team in the secure conference room. The walls pulsed with quantum-dampening fields, ensuring absolute privacy. "Initiate Operation Longview," she commanded. "They've made their position clear." Dr. Imani Okafor, Earth's leading xenotechnologist, brought up a holographic display of the Proxima system. "Their denial works in our favor. The automated mining facility we established 3 years ago, under the guise of preliminary surveys, has already extracted 60% of the system's rare earth elements." "What about detection risks?" Rides asked. "Minimal," replied Imani. "Our quantum-masked operations remain undetectable to Confederation scanning technology. They're still looking for energy signatures while we're using gravity manipulation." Elena nodded, studying the wealth of data streaming across the display. Information was Earth's true currency in this hostile galaxy. While the Confederation saw humans as primitive newcomers, they failed to recognize Earth's true strength, adaptability, and patience. "Update on Project Whisper?" Elena asked. Lieutenant Commander Sophia Nakamura, head of intelligence, stepped forward. Her eyes, augmented with neural implants invisible to alien scanners, flickered as she accessed secure data. "Our deep cover operatives have successfully integrated into 87% of critical Confederation infrastructure," she reported. "We've mapped their defense grids, identified weaknesses in their planetary shields, and cataloged the locations of their leadership bunkers. And the scary military outposts near our colonies?" Rise inquired. "Under constant surveillance. The nanite swarms we released during the cultural exchange 5 years ago have infiltrated their command systems. We can activate sleep protocols in their fleet at any time." Elena absorbed this information with a slight nod. "And still they think we're harmless scientists and diplomats, that we've accepted our position at the bottom of their hierarchy. Humans have always been underestimated," Rise remarked dryly. "It's our greatest advantage." For 15 years, Earth had played the role of the eager, humble newcomer to galactic society. While their diplomats smiled and accepted scraps from the Confederation table, Earth's shadow operations expanded throughout the galaxy. Quantum masked ships established hidden bases in supposedly protected systems. Undercover agents rose through the ranks of alien corporations and governments. All the while, Earth's true military capacity remained carefully concealed behind a facade of outdated technology and transparent intentions. The Confederation believed humanity's relatively short lifespan made them impatient and impulsive. They couldn't have been more wrong. Humans played the long game, methodical, calculating, and most importantly, patient. The breaking point came unexpectedly. A scary military vessel intercepted a small Earth research ship in neutral space near the Epsilon Eridani system. The official Confederation report claimed the humans had violated restricted space, a claim contradicted by navigation logs that Alina's team knew were falsified. The research vessel, Horizon, was destroyed. All 37 scientists and crew members were killed. The Confederation expected protests, perhaps even threats. They received neither. Instead, Alina Chen appeared before the council the following day, her expression somber but composed. She requested a moment of silence for the lost crew, thanked the council for their concern, and proceeded with scheduled diplomatic business, as if nothing had happened. "The humans are truly spineless," General Vextor remarked to his aide, as the session concluded. "Not even the courage to demand justice for their dead." That night, as Vextor slept in his fortified compound on the scary homeworld, he was awakened by his security chief. "General, we've lost contact with the Third Fleet," the officer reported, mandibles clicking with agitation. "What do you mean lost contact? An entire fleet doesn't simply." "It's not just communications, sir. They've disappeared. Long-range scans show nothing but debris where the fleet was stationed." Vextor's scales shifted to alarmed crimson. "That's impossible. They were in our most secure sector, with quantum shielding and—" "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. It's from Earth." The message was brief, delivered by Admiral Rice himself, his expression as calm as if he were discussing the weather. "The Confederation has mistaken Earth's restraint for weakness. This was a miscalculation. The destruction of the Horizon and its crew has been answered in kind. Your Third Fleet no longer exists. We expect appropriate compensation for our lost citizens within the next standard cycle. Further hostilities will be met with proportional response. Earth remains committed to peaceful relations." The transmission ended, leaving Vextor staring at a blank screen. "How?" he finally managed. "How did they penetrate our defenses? Our scanners detected no ships, no weapons signatures." His intelligence officer hesitated. "Sir, preliminary analysis suggests the fleet was destroyed from within. Something activated their own weapon systems against them." Realization dawned slowly, painfully. The cultural exchange 5 years earlier, the human engineers who had been so helpful upgrading their weapon systems with compatible technology. The innocent research vessels that had mapped scientific anomalies near their military installations. The humans hadn't been building up their forces to match the Confederation. They had been infiltrating existing ones, turning strengths into vulnerabilities, all while smiling and nodding and accepting their supposed place. In the secure conference room of the Olive Branch, Alina Chen received confirmation of the operation's success. "The scary Third Fleet has been neutralized," Rise reported. "No survivors, as ordered." Alina nodded, her expression unchanged. "And the nanite swarms?" "Returned to dormant state, undetected. The scary have no evidence of our methods, only the results." Lieutenant Commander Nakamura's neural implants flickered. Confederation emergency session called for 600 tomorrow. All species representatives required to attend. "Good," Alina said. "Prepare our demonstration package. It's time the Confederation understood exactly what they've been dismissing all these years." Dr. Okafor looked up from her console. "Is this wise? Revealing our full capabilities might—" "We're not revealing everything," Alina interrupted. "Just enough to make them reconsider their position. If the Confederation wants peace, we'll give them peace. If they want war, she paused, her eyes cold, we'll give them extinction. As dawn broke over the Confederation capital world, representatives from 27 spacefaring civilizations gathered in emergency session. Panic rippled through the chamber like an electric current. The impossible had happened. An entire scary battle fleet eliminated without warning, without a trace of the attackers. When Elena Chen entered, the chamber fell silent. Gone was the deferential diplomat in modest attire. Today she wore a sleek military uniform, previously unseen by any Confederation member, adorned with symbols and markings none could translate. Her team followed, similarly attired, their posture rigid, eyes forward. She did not wait to be recognized by the council chair. She simply walked to the center of the chamber and activated a holographic display that instantly overrode the room's security protocols. Three-dimensional images materialized, detailed schematics of every Confederation defense system, command center, and leadership compound throughout the galaxy. For 15 years, Elena began, her voice carrying effortlessly, Earth has extended its hand in friendship. For 15 years, the Confederation has responded with contempt, exploitation, and now violence. She gestured, and the holographic display shifted to show real-time footage of supposedly secret Confederation military installations. You believed we were primitive because we showed you obsolete technology. You thought us weak because we did not threaten or bluster. You assumed we were naive because we smiled in the face of your condescension. Another gesture, and the display showed microscopic nanites infiltrating scary weapon systems, Kel-Mori communication arrays, and countless other critical infrastructure elements. You never considered that we might be patient. The quiet reckoning. The silence in the Confederation Council chamber was absolute. The representatives of 27 spacefaring civilizations, beings who controlled vast empires and commanded technologies capable of rearranging star systems, sat frozen, transfixed by the holographic evidence of humanity's silent infiltration of their worlds. Elena Chen allowed the moment to stretch, understanding the psychological impact of prolonged uncertainty. Then, with a subtle gesture, she dismissed the holographic display. Earth does not desire conflict, she said, her voice carrying a quiet authority that demanded attention. We never have. What we desire is respect, not as inferiors to be tolerated, but as equals with whom you share this galaxy. The Kel-Mori ambassador's crystalline nodes pulsed with agitated energy. This is unprecedented aggression. You've infiltrated sovereign worlds. Violated. We've conducted reconnaissance, Elena corrected calmly. No different from the espionage networks each of you maintain in rival territories. The difference is simply one of scale and effectiveness. General Vextor surged to his feet, scales flashing furious red. You destroyed an entire fleet, thousands of scary warriors. After you destroyed an unarmed research vessel in neutral space, Rise responded, stepping forward. The response was proportional. Had you destroyed a colony, we would have taken a planet. The Confederation chair, an ancient Drevlani whose gelatinous form rippled with stress pigments, raised appendages for order. Ambassador Chen, what are Earth's demands? Reparations, territory, technology transfers. Elena smiled, not the diplomatic smile she had worn for years, but something predatory. Earth demands nothing except what we have always sought: fair treatment within galactic society. The Scary will provide compensation for our murdered citizens. The Confederation will approve our pending resource claims, all of them. And moving forward, Earth will have full voting rights in all Confederation matters. Or, the chair prompted. There is no or, Elena replied. These terms are not negotiable, and the consequences of refusal are not threats to be articulated. They are certainties that I trust your imaginations can supply. As the Confederation representatives erupted into heated discussions, Elena and her team exited the chamber with measured steps. Outside, Lieutenant Commander Nakamura fell into step beside her. Surveillance indicates 17 species representatives are already calling emergency sessions with their governments, she reported. The scary are mobilizing their remaining fleets. Elena nodded. As expected. Admiral Reyes, activate Phase 2. Throughout Confederation space, carefully positioned human operatives received their signals. On the scary homeworld, supposedly secure military networks suddenly displayed a simple message on every screen. Stand down. Their remaining fleets found weapon systems locked, engines disabled. Similar demonstrations of vulnerability rippled across the most powerful Confederation worlds. Brief power failures in government districts, momentary disruptions in planetary defense shields, personal messages appearing on the private devices of military leaders detailing their family members' current locations. None of these incidents caused harm. None lasted more than 30 seconds. All made the same point. We can reach you anywhere. On the diplomatic vessel Olive Branch, Dr. Okafor reviewed incoming data. The scary fleets have powered down, she confirmed. Confederation emergency response teams are in disarray. They're trying to trace our incursions, but the quantum masked protocols are confounding their best systems. And Project Sentinel? Elena asked. Admiral Reyes brought up a secure display showing hundreds of previously hidden satellites activating in orbit around key Confederation worlds. All systems online. Full spectrum surveillance initiated. The Confederation believes this was our endgame, Elena observed. They think we've shown our hand. Reyes allowed himself a rare smile. They still don't understand humans very well. For generations, humanity had studied its own history of conflict. The strongest position was never one of overt dominance. Such positions invited resistance, rebellion, and unification of opponents. True power lay in invisible influence, in making certain actions unthinkable rather than forbidden. Earth had no interest in ruling the Confederation through fear. Such arrangements were inherently unstable. Instead, they had planned for integration, becoming so embedded within galactic infrastructure that opposition to human interests would be self-defeating. 3 days after Elena's confrontation with the Council, the Confederation formally approved all pending Earth resource claims and granted full voting rights to human representatives. The scary, under their new leadership, General Vextor having been quietly retired by his own government, agreed to substantial reparations for the Horizon incident. On the surface, diplomatic relations resumed with remarkable smoothness. Beneath that surface, the galaxy's power dynamics had fundamentally shifted. In a private garden on the Confederation capital world, Elena met with Admiral Reyes to discuss the new landscape. The Drevlani delegation has approached us about a military alliance, Reyes reported. They believe our advanced defense systems would complement their biological technologies. Elena nodded. Accept the overture. Begin limited technology sharing. Nothing sensitive. And the Kelamori. Their ambassador has requested a private audience tomorrow. Intelligence suggests they'll offer exclusive access to their crystalline hyperdrives in exchange for our stealth technology. Reyes raised an eyebrow, which we already reverse-engineered 5 years ago. They don't need to know that, Elena replied. Accept the deal. It gives them the illusion of equal exchange. A gentle breeze ruffled the alien foliage around them. To any observer, they appeared to be two colleagues enjoying the botanical gardens, not architects of a galactic realignment. There will be resistance, Reyes noted. Some factions will never accept human influence. Of course, Elena agreed. That's why we're maintaining all surveillance and infiltration networks at full capacity. The Confederation needs to understand that peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the presence of consequences. Speaking of consequences, Reyes said, the Council has requested details about our technology level. They're particularly interested in how we neutralize the scary fleet. Elena considered this. Have Dr. Okafor prepare a demonstration of our first-generation quantum disruptors. Something impressive, but outdated by our actual standards. Feed the curiosity while maintaining advantage. Precisely. Respect is maintained through a combination of known capabilities and unknown potential. As they walked back toward the diplomatic complex, Alina observed the subtle changes in how other species representatives regarded them. Gone were the dismissive glances and patronizing tones. Now humans were given wide berth, approached with careful deference. It wasn't fear, not exactly. It was the kind of cautious respect reserved for entities whose capabilities and intentions remained partially obscured. The galaxy had discovered that the humans they had dismissed as primitive newcomers had been watching, learning, and preparing all along. In her private quarters that evening, Alina reviewed the day's diplomatic dispatches. 7 previously hostile Confederation members had submitted friendship treaties. 3 others had withdrawn territorial claims that conflicted with human interests. The remainder had significantly increased their human cultural exchange programs that would, unknowingly, host Earth's next generation of deep-cover operatives. A message from Earth Command appeared on her secure terminal. Phase 3 authorized. Alina allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Phase 3 would extend human influence beyond the Confederation into the unaligned systems that had been watching recent events with increasing alarm. Not through force or threats, but through the careful application of technological dependence and strategic alliance. Humanity had never wanted to conquer the galaxy. They simply wanted to ensure that no one else could ever threaten Earth. The difference was subtle but profound. As stars winked into existence outside her viewport, Alina Chen contemplated the path forward. The Confederation had learned an essential truth about humanity. Earth didn't keep peace through weakness. It maintained peace through vigilance. They had mistaken patience for timidity, observation for acceptance, strategic planning for technological limitation. They would not make these mistakes again. The day the galaxy understood that humans weren't peacekeepers, they were patient killers, was also the day the galaxy became a much safer place, at least for those who respected the quiet power behind humanity's diplomatic smile.